And I was just, as Dan was speaking about Erik and his relationship with jazz, it reminded me of something that was funny when we started working together on the series here, Dan and I didn't really know if Dan knew much about jazz, and every time I would introduce an idea, we should do, a Coltrane tribute concert. And Dan's like, well, the early period or the mid period of the... And I was like, this guy really knows his stuff. And I was like, he's really paying attention to me and learning as he goes. Come to find out, about a year into the project, that the source of most of this information was based on his friendship with Erik and all this stuff he taught us. So it's all from full circle now, and I understand. So that's nice.
Let's see. I think we were going to go with Erik's.
No. Oh, Secret Cajun.
Let's do Secret Cajun Band. Sorry, we're going a little crazy. So these are his bandmates. They're all spread out all over the country now, and they all came together last night and did an impromptu concert reunion, 20 years plus.
Good afternoon, it's good to be here. My name's Eddie O'Neill, and we have Matt Nichols, Andy O'Neill, my brother, Josh Alt, and Miguel Figueres, and Erik was one of the founding fathers of the Secret Cajun Band. And while my reflection, they have no idea what I'm going to say, but I think my reflection will capture the spirit of Erik as we knew him. On a hot August day in 1982, the moving van pulled into our new house in the 6600 block of Kingsbury, University City, Missouri. We had arrived from Virginia. I was 10 years old, and it didn't take long before someone had given my parents "there are a couple of boys in the neighborhood your kids could play with" report. The list, as I recall it, ended at 2. There was Eddie Fairchild, a few houses down on Kingsbury, and Erik Rogers, who lived behind us just across the alley in the 6600 block of Waterloo. Eddie Fairchild didn't cut the mustard. I remember he came over once or twice, and I thought he was a little strange, bordering on nerdy. However, Erik Rogers was okay. Our connection was sports. He liked sports, I liked sports. And thus began my close to 30-year friendship with my pal, who lived just across the alley. Some of those early memories of Erik and I being together consisted of going to St. Louis Steamer soccer games at the old arena, outings organized by our dads. They were somewhat awkward, as I recall, due to the fact that I went to the local Catholic grade school and he went to the public junior high, Brittany Woods. Neither of us knew where the other was coming from. He probably thought that we Catholic schoolers had our rosaries in our hands and were on our knees in prayer most of the day. At the same time, I had no idea what kind of raucous activities went on at the public junior high. Sometime during those first few years in St. Louis, Erik's dad installed a basketball hoop on the back of the family garage. And when I heard the ball bounce in after school, I would usually head out back. Erik and I spent a fair amount of time together playing horse, our tips, or a variety of other strange games we would invent within that small confine of the alley. Conjuring up strange sports with bizarre rules would be a reoccurring pastime for me and my youth city cronies throughout much of our formative years. Another connection that Erik and I had was music. I took up the trumpet as a freshman in high school, and he played the sax. He was much better than me at his instrument. In short, he took practice serious. There were a number of times on warm summer evenings with our windows open when we would practice together, trading riffs from house to house across the alley. I can recall him introducing me to something called the Jazz Fake Book, a thick, tattered, worn, spiral-bound book that had the transcriptions to every imaginable jazz classic that you could imagine. They had titles like Night in Tunisia, Blue Dolphin. He knew just about every song in it. Erik was a man who sought authenticity and truth. He would have much rather listened to the sounds of John Coltrane than the new saccharine jazz of Kenny G. He was a man of convictions, and he knew what he wanted, and was willing to take what it took to reach those goals. Second place wasn't an option for him. He was a gentleman. He liked to have things clean and in order. He wore his shirts tucked in. He was never one to put you down because you weren't as good as something such as athletics or music. He respected you for where you were at. As I reflect on those teen and college years, I cherish those memories. I'm so grateful for all my U-City neighborhood pals. And as I look at my own family situation, I'm not sure my two boys will have an Erik Rogers to pal around with. These days, real friends have been replaced with an endless list of Facebook friends. And Wii baseball, in the comfort of one's living room, has taken the place of backyard wiffle ball on freshly cut grass. While we grew up and went our separate ways, Erik and I kept in touch here and there, always picking up the same bad, stale, sarcastic joke where we last left off. I was shocked when I got the news that Erik was unresponsive in a hospital in Kansas City a month or so ago. These things aren't supposed to happen. 30-something dads with two little precious girls aren't supposed to die while trimming the trees on a Sunday. And while I shook my fist at heaven, angry and disbelief, two silver linings have come to mind. First, I was touched by the fact that he had given new life to a number of people who have his organs. Someone can now see clearer or get off dialysis because of Erik. Death has brought new life. As well, his accident and his death are a wake-up call of sorts for us that life is so short and very precious, and it can be taken away in the snap of a finger. It's a reminder to all of us of what's really important, such as family and friends. I haven't been back to the old neighborhood in a while. I suspect that the old basketball hoop on the Rogers garage has long been since taken down. But the memories of my first U-City pal, Erik Rogers, won't go away. I just wish they didn't have to end so abruptly. Thanks, Erik.
Cajun band, which those who knew us can probably understand. It was somewhat of a crazy ride and a crazy group. Those of you who don't know Eddie, we know him as Swamp Daddy. If you've met him for 5 minutes, I think you have an understanding as to what happened as he formed that band and was before he formed the band. So you can kind of imagine what you're talking about. Anyway, what I wanted to express was what's not lost on all of us as we were fledgling musicians trying to put something together, is that Erik's immense talent, especially in the face of those around him here in our group, both as voice talent and on the saxophone. They were talents that could never be fully actualized playing with us. And in fact, probably did quite a bit of damage. I think that's a theme that has always resonated with us throughout the years as we've listened back to the tunes that he's played on. And that talent, I don't think he ever really appreciated near as much as we always did. Thanks.
As many of you know, last night we did a benefit for Music for Lifelong Achievement. And last night we raised $1,000 in Erik's name, and we have a check we're going to give to the Rogers family. Additionally, one of the keyboards that was used for the event is being donated by Jason Prevey to the Music for Lifelong Achievement as well. So that check.